Hello, this is part 53, preparation for exam NSE4 Fortinet, configuring firewall policies. When we need to configure a new firewall policy on the graphical user interface, we must specify a unique name for the firewall policy because it's enabled by default while it is optional on the command line interface. This helps the administrator to quickly identify the policy that they are looking for. However, we can make this feature optional on the graphical user interface when we go to the feature visibility page and enable allow unnamed policies. Note that if a policy is configured without a policy name on the command line interface, and we modify that existing policy on the graphical user interface, we must specify a unique name. The FortiGate that graphical user interface view allows you to select interfaces and other objects by clicking and also dragging and dropping from the list populated on the right side. We can select Internet service as a source. Internet service is a combination of one or more addresses and one or more services associated with a service found on the internet, such as an update service for the software. There are many other options that we can configure in the firewall policy, such as firewall and network options, security profiles, logging options, and enabling or disabling policy. When creating firewall objects and policies, a universally unique identifier, UUID, universally unique identifier attribute, is added so that logs can record these universally unique identifiers and improve functionality when integrating with FortiManager and FortiAnalyzer. When creating firewall policies, we need to remember that FortiGate is a stateful firewall. It is a stateful firewall, and stateful firewalls are capable of monitoring and detecting states of all traffic on a network to track and defend based on the network traffic patterns and flows. So FortiGate is a stateful firewall, and as a result, we need to create only one firewall policy that matches and the direction of the traffic that initiates the session. FortiGate will automatically remember source destination pair and allow replies. Stateful firewalls, they check state of the sessions. Are they permitted or they denied? And if they were permitted, they will be permitted for the next time. But they're also protocol aware. For example, if what ports using a particular protocol, such as, for example, FTP protocol uses ports 20 and 21, and firewall will keep these ports open for the session. Security profiles. One of the most important features that a firewall policy can apply is security profiles, such as IPS and antivirus. A security profile inspects each packet in the traffic flow. The session has already been conditionally accepted by the firewall policy. When expecting traffic, FortiGate can use one of two methods: flow-based inspection and proxy-based inspection. Different security features are supported by each inspection type. Note that by default, the video filter, voice over IP, and web application firewall security profile option is not visible on the page on the graphical user interface. We need to enable them on the feature visibility page. Logging. By default, set to security events. If we have enabled logging in the policy, FortiGate will generate traffic logs after a firewall policy closes an IP session. By default, log allowed traffic is enabled and set to security events, and it generates logs for only the applied security profiles in the firewall policy. However, we can change this setting to all sessions, which generates logs for all sessions. If we enable generate logs when session starts, FortiGate creates a traffic log when the session begins. FortiGate also generates a second log for the same session when it is closed. But we need to remember that increasing logging decreases performance, so we need to use it only when necessary. During the session, if a security profile detects a violation, FortiGate records the attack log immediately. To reduce the number of log messages generated and to improve performance, we can enable a session table entry of dropped traffic. This creates the denied session in the session table, and if the session is denied, all packets of that session are also denied. This ensures that FortiGate does not have to do a policy lookup for each new packet matching the denied session, and it reduces CPU usage, like processing power usage, and log generation. This option is in the command line interface, and it is called SES-denied-traffic. To configure it, we put the command config system setting, set SES-denied-traffic, and here we can put it disable or enable. And there is another parameter, block session timer. We can also set the duration for block sessions. This determines how long the session will be kept in the session table by setting block-session-timer, and then in seconds from 1 to 300 seconds. By default, it is set to 30 seconds. If the graphical user interface option generate logs when session starts is not displayed. It means that our FortiGate device does not have internet storage, and this option on the command line interface, regardless of the internal storage, is called set log traffic -start enable. Next, let's talk about traffic shapers. Traffic shapers rate limiting is configurable. We can configure two types of traffic shapers, shared and per IP. A shared shaper applies a total bandwidth to all traffic using by the shaper. The scope can be per policy or for all policies referencing that shaper. FortiGate can count the packet rates of ingress and egress to police traffic. FortiGate allows us to create three types of traffic shaping policies. Shared policy shaping is for bandwidth management of security policies. Per IP shaping, bandwidth management of user IP addresses. Application control shaping. It is bandwidth management by application. And when creating traffic shaping policies, we must ensure that the matching criteria is the same as the firewall policies we want to apply shaping to. Note that these apply equally to TCP and to UDP protocols, and UDP protocols may not recover as gracefully from packet loss. Thank you. See you in the next video. Bye.